Hello, everybody. This is Catholic Dad episode number 199. What disgusts you more? And this is an episode that actually builds on the last episode. In the last episode, I talked about the sin of delicacy, and the sin of delicacy is essentially this: it's a sin of gluttony. C.S. Lewis was very keen to point this out. And if you want to actually learn what it is, you type in on Google bar C.S. Lewis and the sin of gluttony, and it will break it down for you. So gluttony can be excess, meaning you eat every piece of pizza and every scoop of ice cream and every thing that's bad for you in front of you, and you become obese. And yeah, you're guilty of the sin of gluttony in terms of the sin of excess. But there are sins of gluttony that don't make you fat. That's the sin of delicacy, meaning that your palate, like your particularities, your what you like and what you don't like, are so sensitive and so refined that you use it to control other people. Like, here, do you want this milk? Well, I love milk. Oh, it's 2%. No, I'd prefer 1%. That's a sin of delicacy, meaning your appetites are so darn delicate that you will use it as a weapon to control other people. That's a sin of delicacy. And so I actually have a scenario that I want you to think about in your own personal heart. What disgusts you more? Like, which scenario? There's A or B, right? I'm going to give you two scenarios, and I want you to think about it. I want you to pray about it. I want you to quietly go into your own dark space and think about it. Go into a field, bring scripture with you, but think about this one. Scenario number one: which disgusts you more? Disgusts you more? Number one: a young, pretty, quite beautiful woman, probably 21 years old, college age. She has nice clothes on. She looks very capable. Okay. And she says to you, I just had an abortion last year, okay? That's scenario number one. And doesn't look regretful about it. Number two, when you hear in a private video, private audio tape of someone who happens to be the President of the United States of America, state, you gotta grab her by the you-know-what. And I think everybody knows what I'm talking about here. So there was a private conversation of the President of the United States of America like 15 years ago where some man came to him and said, she's beautiful, I'd like to date her. And he said, she's a beautiful woman. You know what you need to do? You got to go grab her by the you-know-what. And so, so which disgusts you more? This young, capable woman admitting that she actually had an abortion, or a man in a private conversation telling another man, giving him advice, saying, if you think she's beautiful, you got to go grab her by the you-know-what. And this is a good metric. I think it is, and maybe I'm wrong. I think this is a deep theological and philosophical topic. I don't think this is superficial. If you don't understand what I'm saying, please forgive me. If you think I'm being uncharitable to you, please forgive me, because I'm not. I'm trying to push you to a place where it makes you feel slightly uncomfortable so you can look in your own soul. If you think somebody freely admitting the murder of a child, okay, is less disgusting than a man in a private conversation to another man that was secretly recorded and released to the world. By the way, that's a violation of the 8th commandment, right? Bearing false witness, gossiping, right? That's what gossiping is. You're not supposed to do it. And somebody who takes somebody else's speech and gives it to the rest of the world, that's a sin, by the way, and you're listening to somebody else's sin. If a woman privately or admitting to you that she aborted a child is less disgusting than a man quietly telling another man, if you think she's attractive, you go grab her by the you-know-what, then you probably suffer from the sin of delicacy. And I want to go a little step further here, so please listen up. A man telling another man that in privacy, number one, you don't know the intention of the man. Like, he might actually mean, go be confident with her. Go tell her she's beautiful and take her by the hand and tell her you like her. Like, the intent of the man, the words are different than what his intention is, because under no circumstance is the intention to go grab her by the you-know-what, because that's not physically possible. I actually went to medical school. I know it's not physically possible. I think he's speaking in hyperbole. I'm a New Yorker. He's a New Yorker too. And like, I grew up there, and I speak and think in hyperbole. I think his intention was, go be confident with her and be courageous. That's what I think his intention was. Versus a woman who actually stated, I committed an objective evil and I willingly admit to it. which one disgusts you more? Because I think this is what I would do, and as Catholic dad, being a little bit older, having 9 kids, being around the world, being in medicine, by the way, I get to hear everybody's deep, dark secrets for the last, 20 years of my life. If I heard a woman say, I just had an abortion, and she admits to it, I would quietly pray for her soul, and I would not be disgusted about it, and I would like, hey, if you need help, please, I'm here for you. I would want to help you. Versus a man who says something horrific in a private conversation. If he actually said that to me, what's the difference? Like, what if I said to him, if you need help, I'll help you, and quietly pray for his soul, because he obviously may need some help. He actually might need some help. You have this man that commits no intrinsic acts of evil, being slightly crude, right? I mean, it is slightly crude. It's not horrifically crude either, by the way. And then you have a woman who is actually stating an intrinsic act of evil that she performed, breaking the 5th commandment, thou shalt not kill. She actually broke a commandment. Her soul, if she doesn't confess that, is eternally damned to the fires of hell. His is kind of a venial sin, really. He was kind of crude, he was not using the proper language, but again, it was in a private conversation. It was not meant for other ears, and we don't even know the intention. If that disgusts you more, that means that your sensibilities and your visceral human being is so refined to certain things that you want to act so disgusted by something that is a venial sin, perhaps, maybe not even a venial sin, and that disgusts you more than an absolute mortal sin, the murder of another human being. If you actually think the sin of the President of the United States of America, when he says, grab her by the you-know-what, is more disgusting to your inner being than I killed a child last year, then you probably suffer from the sin of delicacy, meaning that you are utilizing the situation to your advantage, because you can't compare the two. Well, you really can't. One is more horrifically evil than the other. One is 10 times the sin, 100 times the sin of the other. And if that sin, that 100 times the sin of the other, disgusts you less than the one that's kind of this private conversation that really perhaps is not even a sin, I don't even know. I can't be the judge of his soul on that one. You probably suffer from the sin of delicacy. And if this confuses you, this video, by the way, go back to the last video, because I think this is something I've been thinking about for a while, and I think I probably discovered something, like theological in the Catholic sense, that when people use their visceral state, when they use their own feelings and their own subjective feelings about how much they hate things, or how things, oh, it makes me nauseous. Oh, when the president says that, I just want to throw up. Or, yeah, no, he said words. Words should never make you want to throw up. If you want to throw up, that's an act of control by you to other people. You want to actually control the environment by using some subjective feeling you have that nobody can prove. And I don't think anybody was made nauseous by that. If they are, I think they suffer from autonomic dysfunction. I'm a physician. If you're actually made nauseous or sickened by that, I think you probably have medical problems, and I don't think you actually are. It's probably up here. It's the sin of delicacy. So yeah, if you have 2 sins, one is the murder of an innocent child versus a crude older man, and you can't compare the two. And if this one bothers you more than this one, you probably suffer from the sin of delicacy. And so please like or subscribe. You get the Mass, pray the daily rosary, live a sacramental life. I know this is a hard topic. If you don't understand it, please comment below. I think it's I think it's important, actually. So anyway, take care. God bless you all. Get the Mass and pray the daily rosary.